Hey magicians, welcome back to my channel. I know I really have not been making a lot of videos on here lately. That's because most of my stuff is happening over on TikTok now. But I do miss YouTube, so I kind of want to come back. So today I'm going to be reading on a famous figure, Joe Biden, who is currently the President-elect of the United States of America. And I do want to put out a disclaimer, just because I'm doing a reading on a famous person, like a politician, that's not me expressing approval, and it's not me expressing disapproval. So if I predict good stuff, I'm not saying that because I like them. If I predict bad stuff, it's not me saying that I don't like them. I'm literally just doing a reading, and it just so happens to be on a famous person. So as you can see, I have an astrology chart up for Joe Biden. So what I'm using for the birth time and birthplace, Washington, D.C. on January 20th, 2021 at 12 p.m., because that's where the inauguration takes place and the time it takes place. So that's the time that his presidency will essentially be birthed, when it will begin. So this is for the new president. So let's say something happens and Joe Biden doesn't become president, like let's say the Electoral College meets and chooses the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, as president, then this would be Bill de Blasio's presidency, but obviously that is extremely unlikely. So right here, we have the North Node in the second house. The North Node is all about purpose, and it's about what you'll do to heal the world. And the second house is all about money, finances, and possessions. So that's saying that Joe Biden, the primary focus of his presidency is going to heal America's financial state to get the economy back on track. Because obviously with what is going on right now, sorry, I need to drink some water. Okay, I'm better. With what's going on right now, the economy is not at all in a good state. So that's saying the primary focus of the Biden presidency is going to be the economy. He will heal the economy, and that's kind of what he'll be remembered for, getting it back on track. His presidency, though, I am seeing it's going to pretty much be a failure, because the 12th house right here, that's basically the house of failure, the house of what goes wrong, the house of what haunts you, the house of trauma, basically everything bad in astrology. So you really do not want to have planets in the 12th house, but we have some pretty major astrological bodies in his 12th house. We have more planets in that house than any other house, I think. Actually, never mind, it's tied with the 10th house, but still, you do not want any planets in this house, but Joe Biden has a lot. So for me, that's saying his presidency will be a big failure. And there's going to be a lot of media attention on the failure. Joe Biden himself will definitely feel the failure, because the moon is one of the planets in the 12th house, and the moon is all about emotions. That's saying Joe Biden, or the new president, he will be very hard on himself and just not have good feelings, because he'll recognize that the presidency really has not been going well at all. And I don't like to say anything's impossible, but it's going to be extremely, extremely hard to turn the presidency around, because we have Chircon, the astrological body, I hope I said that right, of healing, also in the 12th house. That's saying attempts to heal just bring more pain and more failure. So basically stuff that you don't want. One thing I'm seeing, though, is that he's going to have a very close relationship with experts, especially through academia, but pretty much any type of expert. And I'm saying that because we have, where is it? I'm sorry. Astrology is kind of confusing. We have Venus in the 9th house. Venus is a planet of relationships, not always romantic, sometimes just partnerships, work partnerships, relationships like that, and it's in the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of higher education. So for me, that's telling me he's going to surround himself with experts like professors. Now, the 9th house is also the house of foreign travel. So for me, that's also saying Joe Biden is going to build close relationships with foreign leaders abroad. One of the reasons his presidency will not go that well, though, is because if you look, we have Jupiter and Saturn so close to each other. Basically, Jupiter gives and Saturn takes. Jupiter is the planet of building up and expanding and growing, and Saturn is the planet of structure and limitations. So like I said, Jupiter gives, Saturn takes. Because they're so close together, it's like Joe Biden creates one thing, it gets taken away. Or Joe Biden takes away something, but then immediately right after it gets put back in place. So there's really not going to be consistency, and it's just not going to be what Joe Biden wants at all. Joe Biden is going to be pretty intuitive throughout his presidency, though, and good at predicting stuff, because we have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is basically the psychic planet, and Pisces is one of the most psychic astrological signs there is. So he's going to be very good at predicting things. Going back, I think he and Obama were known for predicting the Ebola crisis pretty well. I haven't really studied the Ebola crisis. I study a lot of political stuff, but I haven't looked at that yet. So for me, this can continue because Joe Biden is going to be very good at intuitively predicting these things, and it might be a result from listening to the experts. Going back to the experts, if you look, you can't really see, but the North Node in the second house, so healing America's financial state, it's connected to the Venus in the ninth house. So that's saying that part of the reason Joe Biden will be so effective at getting the economy back together is because he's going to listen to experts. So I know he already picked Janet Yellen to lead the Treasury Department, and obviously she has a lot of credentials. She's been a professor at the top schools. She headed the Federal Reserve. So he's saying that, this is saying that picks like that, basically the people who really know what they're doing, that's what will get the economy back on track. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, if his presidency is a failure, why is the economy going so well for him? For me, that's saying he could kind of be like a one-issue president, where his presidency is defined by pretty much one issue that's good. So that would be the economy, but everything else goes pretty bad. If you look at George Bush, after 9/11, he became pretty famous for his response to that, and it's pretty much what he's known for. Although when we look at the rest of his presidency, didn't go so well, to say the least. So it's kind of going to be like that. Which, by the way, that was not me saying I like George Bush or his response at all. Just putting that out there. So yeah, Joe Biden, pretty much the economy goes well for him. Not much else goes for him. Joe Biden's also going to be very good at philosophical communication, which I'll explain. So he has Mercury in Aquarius. Aquarius is one of the philosophical signs. Mercury is the planet of communication. And Joe Biden, if you look at his 2020 campaign, it really did center around a lot of philosophy. So uniting America, bringing back love into politics in the world, that moral, spiritual, philosophical, whatever you want to call it stuff, that's going to continue throughout his presidency. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm really starting to enjoy astrology and I like doing it. I know I was kind of all over the place. I made a script, but I really didn't follow it at all. So I hope to see you in my next video. Love and light to you all.